Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Confident Women Leaders Show, where women go from chaos to confidence, stepping in and stepping up and being the change that the world needs us to be. We believe that confident women leaders are changing the world. And I have a very special guest with me today. Her name is Tracey Gooch. Welcome, Tracey.
Thank you, Dina, for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. And a little bit of background about Tracey. I met her when she was in her comfy corporate job. It's been like I was thinking about this 5 years ago. It seems like it's really been a really long time. And at that point in time, we had a lot of discussions around what is that life that you were kind of dreaming of. And speaking of the life that you're dreaming of, you're certainly not here in the United States. You're actually in Merida, the state of the Yucatan in Mexico right now. And so I can't wait to let people hear about how you stepped into your confidence because you're a leadership coach, but you're also a missionary, and those things go hand in hand. And so I'm just giving you the upper part of who you are, but I would like for you to tell everybody out there in the world what you'd like for them to know about you, Tracey.
Oh my goodness. So like you said, leadership coach and missionary, but so I forget one of the main things in my life and the things that bring me joy. I have three amazing teenage children. They're 14, 17, and 18 now. And yes, they are on mission with me.
That's amazing to me.
Yes, so they are with me. My 18-year-old just graduated high school, so during her gap year now. Yes, and focusing on Spanish being another language for her. So becoming
That's
bilingual. And I homeschool my 14 and 17-year-old boys.
that's
So
amazing to me too. So just saying.
there's that whole piece in there too, but also having a company and having two companies actually. So I do medical billing and coding as one company, and
Yeah.
then my main focus being leadership consulting and helping people step into the leadership roles that they desire. So whether that's corporate, whether that's I want to travel the world as I, earn a living, whatever that looks like for them, move
Mhm.
up the corporate ladder, however that looks. So that's part of me and just who I am.
I love that. And you are amazing, by the way. To think about taking my teenage kids across the world with not having all of their devices and all of their TVs and all of the luxuries, I admire you, Tracey, and what you're doing. And I wanted to find out, how did you find the confidence to just decide, okay, I'm going to jump in and do this? How did you decide that?
Well, so for me, my faith is in the Lord. So I'm a Christian. And so when I felt like I was being led to do it, my confidence came from that. I have confidence in the one that's calling me to do this. I have confidence in the Lord, right? So even if you're someone watching now and you're saying, well, I'm not a Christian, I don't believe, no matter what it is, if you feel an internal calling to do something, sometimes you just have to take confidence in what you have, what you do know, and go with it. Or even if you're saying this is new territory, I don't know anything about it, but I'm willing to learn, you jump in and get the confidence to do it just as you go. So for me, my confidence is in the Lord. So even though I was like, I don't know what this looks like, I don't know how all of this is going to play out, but I have confidence that you're telling me to do this. And so I'm going to do it out of obedience. And I know that everything's going to work out because I have confidence in you. And then my confidence,
Such
internal
a
confidence was boosted.
big, big piece of business in general is having the faith of knowing that if what's your purpose, right? Are you out there to make a difference, and are you out there to do something that kind of, change the world? What is your, purpose? I want to talk a little bit about even your mission work, because that's something that, you were pulled to do as well. So you really don't have two, you have three jobs, and really four, because you're a single mom with these
Yeah.
teenage kids. You have four jobs, girl. You don't have two. So tell us a little bit about your mission work.
So the missions work is definitely just going to different countries. We spread the gospel, but it's mainly about meeting the need of the people. Okay. So it's not about if you have any type of old school way of, thinking about what missionary work may be and, oh, you're going to these other countries, are you trying to convert the people? What are you doing?
Yeah.
So we're literally going, but we're meeting the need. So right now we're actively helping with the retirement home, keeping food there for them because they were almost out at one point and didn't even know if they were going to make it through the weekend. So keeping food there for the residents, for the grandparents there, but also cleaning up. There's also a woman right now and her child, baby is only 1 month old, already had intestinal surgery and things like that. And for the next 4 or 5 months, we'll need like a colostomy bag and all that. So we're helping with her with supplies and Pampers and formula and things of that nature. So just going and whatever the need is, meeting that need, and people will just naturally see Christ and things just from what we are doing. So that's the part of the missions work.
I love that. I want to kind of go back to the point in time where you decided to jump out of corporate America and into creating the life you dreamed of. I remember that very vividly myself. I remember those days. What was the aha moment for you that you think that women feel like they get stuck and they don't have control of their life?
Mhm. The aha moment for me when I was ready to exit, you mean? I think I was feeling burnout. I knew that I was being underappreciated, undervalued, and I was just tired of doing the hamster wheel thing. I
Mm.
was. I'm like, I'm ready to, I want to help leaders. And that's what was killing me every day. So that's the part of corporate, being a leader in
Yes.
corporate that I loved, was having leaders that I could help grow and help find their way and what they wanted for their career and grow up. Well, I was
Mhm.
in a position where I couldn't do that. Like they kept loading more and more
Right.
on me
Right.
than what my peers had. And I had been in that position before. I'm like, I'm not doing this again. I refuse to keep doing this, to be somewhere where I'm not valued and not appreciated. So I wanted to take that initiative to do it for me. So I gave the company that I was with, essentially it was an ultimatum.
Yeah.
I'm giving you, these are your three choices. I literally put it in an email. These are your three choices. They took the
Mhm.
third, which was, we're just going to part ways. And I said, okay, now I get to do the leadership consulting. It's something that I had already been wanting to do, but I was just like, I don't have the time. I said, well, now I
Yeah.
can't say that anymore.
Yeah. And
Clearly, I
there's
was.
a lot of need out here, right? Servant leadership, I heard about it years ago. And it wasn't until my vice president had kind of coined it for me. He said, you really are one of those servant leaders. You serve the people that report to you, you serve other people. That's how you lead. There's a big difference between, just leadership and servant leadership. And I so appreciate Ken Blanchard because I think he coined that years ago. He's also a very strong Christian, but servant leadership, there's nothing like it, right? So it's inspiring, meaningful work. And talk a little bit about, what you see for, servant leadership and how do you coin that for other leaders?
For other leaders, I let them know it's more than what you think it is. Okay. I think everyone now, whenever you hear a new catchphrase, everyone starts using it, and you need to be this. But it needs to come from an authentic place. And servant leadership doesn't always look exactly the same. Okay.
No,
It does not.
no,
It
it
does
does
not.
not.
And honestly, it can't be, especially if it's authentic, because we're all different. We have different personalities. We have different ways of doing things. We have different backgrounds. But servant leadership is truly doing just that. It is serving your team. It is more than saying, go, you go do this, you go do that. This is what I'm telling you to do. No, it's let me show you. Let me come. We are going to do this together. So if you're that leader, you're like, oh no, I'm definitely a servant leader, but you can't tell me the last time that you've really been in the trenches with your team. And again, I don't mean go do this. I don't mean
Right,
giving orders.
right,
I mean, let me show you the way. Let me come in and help you, or look, or being honest. I think that's
right.
part of, not I think, I know for a fact that's part of servant leadership too, is that transparency and a level of honesty. Um, dare I say, intimacy that people do not want to have or share. And I only say the word intimacy just to, get people to understand the closeness sometimes and how you have to really show yourself. And people aren't willing to do that. A
Yeah.
lot of times are not willing to let their guard down and
Mhm.
really talk about their past experiences or talk
Mhm.
about how, look, you guys, I don't know how we're going to do it either. Okay. I don't, but we're going to have this meeting. We're going to try to figure it out. This is the goal that we've been given or that we've set. This is how we're going to do it. I don't know how this got broken, but I know we got to fix it. Okay. But always feeling like you have to have the answer
Mhm.
or you have to be the shining star. And I need people to see that I'm confident. I need them to see me. If you're still feeling all that, you're probably showing that in your everyday life.
Right.
There is a possibility that maybe servant leadership, I'm not saying it's not in you, but you may not be displaying it right now today.
Right. We can help you and we can coach you. So you might see the difference, right? But it is definitely a decision on what kind of leader that you are, right? The autocratic top down leadership is really outdated. It really just doesn't work anymore. It just doesn't. You have a lot of people that are lack of engagement costs money, people leaving the corporate life costing money. And I saw an article this morning that 4 million people are deciding to leave the workplace because of burnout, lack of care for their employees. So we are in an epidemic stage right now that really, if we can flip the script, is what I call it, but willing to step into an uncomfortable leadership where you're not the shining star, but everybody that works for you can be shining stars, right? And how do you do that? So I love that. Um, Give us 3 tips for women who want something different in their career or different for their life. What would you say to them?
3 tips. Make sure you know, be able to define your passion. What is it that you want to do? That's the first thing. And I say that because you need to be able to stand firm on that because it's not going to be always pretty. So when you have those days and those moments, you need to know, or as Simon Sinek or other people say, know your why, right? So it's important to be able to define your passion, what it is that you want to do. That's the first tip. The second tip is don't wait for the perfect time. Okay, there won't be one. Every time you
No,
think that there's going to be a perfect time to step out, something in life will just come in and hit you. And then
it does. It does. You're so right. You're so right. I would never be in the place that I am today if, I was still in the company that I absolutely loved, right? And it was kind of that forced, this is over. We're going to retire now. I'm not ready. I wasn't ready. And so I was just like, what am I going to do, right? So for making a purposeful decision for yourself is a very powerful place to come from, which is kind of what you said. You made a decision, you got your passion, you got your why. I found my passion and my why too, but it was because I really wanted to find a place where I could create impact, right, for other people. So it was kind of a forced situation. But what I hear a lot of women saying today, and I think you shared with that very well, Tracy, is it's a decision you can make yourself.
it is. It is. You don't have to wait on anyone else to tell you this is a good time or
Yep.
you should do it. Because for every person that tells you do it, and that you may have a cheerleader, you may have 3 more people that say there's no way in the world I do that. Did you think about this? Did you consider this? And it's like,
Yeah.
well, no, of course. Yes, I thought about that. Yes, everything
Yes.
that you came to me with, I've already thought about. So definitely know your passion, know your why. Don't wait for the perfect time when it comes to your situation, your outward situation, but also don't wait for the perfect, I'm waiting to feel 100% confident about this. The
I love
confidence will continue to come as you take action. Okay. As you take
it.
action, as long as you continue to sit, your confidence probably won't move. Okay. So if it's
Mm.
low, it may continue to stay there. But once you start taking, even if it's small little baby steps, your confidence will slowly begin to grow. And before you know it, you will be that confident woman that you were looking at someone else one day, saying, like, one day I'm going to be as confident as her. And that'll be you. And somebody else will be looking to you, asking you, how did you get there? So those are my 3 tips.
I love that. So it answered that next question I have. Advice would you give women who are fearful for asking, what they want? And so you did that very boldly at the end of your corporate career. So you had a clear vision and a purpose, but I think you said it. And so correct me if there needs to be a little bit more added to it. Don't sit on it, take action.
Take action. Because that's where I was at that point. I'm like, if I don't say anything, if I don't speak up for myself, who's going to be my advocate? I
Right.
have to advocate for myself. And
Yeah.
right now, and I had already been doing it, so it's not like that was a,
Yeah.
just came in one
You were
day.
doing a pretty good job. Yeah, you did. You did a great job. But it was clear, you weren't getting what you were asking for. So when something like that happens, you have to make some decisions, right? And you have to step into that real conscious, decision of what is the cost to not doing this? Did you ever ask yourself that question? What if I stayed? What would be the cost to myself and my family and my wishes and my dreams? Have had if you had not done that, not stepped into
Yes.
this.
I had asked myself that. I asked myself that before I even sent that email that one day, and then I've asked myself since I've been gone. I was suffering, suffering,
Yes.
stressed out completely. But the main thing for me, honestly, I just kept thinking about I can't serve the way that my teams need me
Mm,
to serve. I
mm,
can't get in there the way that they need me to get in there. I can't develop clear areas that I know need developing.
mhm.
I don't want to be a part of something that takes a piece of me and I watch it snatch pieces of other people as well. I don't want to be a part of anything dying or already dead.
Wow, that's powerful. That's super, super, super powerful. And it was fueled by service. And I think that's the lens I've always seen you, Tracy, from the very first time I met you. There's the lens of service that you look through. If you're not serving, then you're disaligned. It just doesn't, it feels very, much in conflict. I'd love to know what tools that you use to kind of untangle yourself sometimes, because we can get there on our own and we can create our own tangled narratives. What tool do you use to kind of untangle yourself? How do you do that?
Different things. I think it depends upon what happens. Now, I used to, one of the things that I was religious about was weekly like detox baths that would help me. And I know that
Oh,
may sound like, okay, how does that help? But I'm telling you, just like putting Epsom salt and different essential oils and things in the water. And even if you want to get fancy, put some rose petals or something in there and just soak in it's hot water, and have like a cold bottle of water and just meditate. Just go
mm,
completely silent as you can. If you can't, play some soft music. I would just sit there for just about 20, 30 minutes, light some candles in the bathroom. And it was just time just to just decompress and just take a step back. Just don't think about any of it, whatever may be going on. What's the next move I need to make? I have to do
right.
these, 5 or 6 things just for this one piece. We're not even talking about the whole thing, all the other pieces. So doing that would help. But as I continued on with my journey, meditation, daily meditation being a part of my life has truly helped to keep me grounded. So if that's meditating on a scripture, if that's just taking time just to not think about anything and give myself some time in the morning before I give and serve to everybody else, let me serve myself with these
Mm,
moments. So I'm a firm believer of you can't pour out of an empty cup. So I need to fill myself up
yeah,
before I begin to completely pour out throughout the remainder of the day.
I love that. Can't pour out of an empty cup. I love that. My new saying. What books, blogs, and podcasts do you listen to?
Oh, so I love to read. So I'm all over when it comes to books. So I don't know if I'm going to be too much help for you guys there. But I love any type of books on leadership and self development, things of that nature. And not just for myself, but ways that I can help others as well. Because even though I found what works for me, I want to see what else is out there.
Hmm.
So I'm a big reader. I read anything from thrillers to
I
again
love it.
self-help to leadership. Every now and then I may do a romance one. That's why I said I'm all over when it comes to
You are. That's
to
great. So you keep the spice of your life through all the books that you read, is what I'm hearing.
I love it. I love it. I do. So
Yeah.
my challenge for the past couple of years has been to read a book a week. So I'm all over when it
Wow,
comes to books.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm all over. So, and
I
now that I'm
love
an
it.
entrepreneur, I read about, business ownership as well. Um, so yeah, definitely if anybody's watching and you said, hey, when it comes to this particular genre, what do you recommend? I can definitely do that. But yeah, I'm all over when it comes to books. But right now I am reading John Maxwell's The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth.
I love that. One of my last questions for you, Tracy, is if you could go back and do it all over again, what would you tell your younger self?
What would I tell my younger self? Stop looking at them, run your race.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yep.
I love that. Take ownership and run your race, right?
Yep.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Very powerful things that you shared today, and for anybody that's still listening with us, I want to be able to, one, thank you, Tracy, because I think you're doing amazing work. Certainly, Tracy is in Mexico. If anybody has an opportunity to want to donate or fund to her missionary, as you said, she's putting food on table where people don't have food or people are looking for supplies. People are in genuine, really big need. And certainly, if you have any questions for Tracy, certainly, reach out to her. But I wanted to thank you today for what you're doing. And I've been very blessed when I met you 5 years ago. And it's just been really fun watching you and what you're doing. And I do believe that we are reaching our purpose and we're doing the things that we love. And I appreciate sharing servant leadership with you, Tracy. So I want to thank you today for being on my Confident Women Leadership, where women are changing the world. Thank you, Tracey Gooch.
Thank you for having me.
Take care.